Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Buy Round podcast. I'm your host James Graham and joined, not as always, but very much somebody who's not in a good headspace at the moment.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
I'm in a good headspace, mate. Life's good, you know. Do you know what annoys me, though? I actually have had a day from hell, if I'm going to be honest. But let's bring in Greg Inglis, first of all. Legend of the game. One of the greatest players to ever play the game. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm just listening to you banter offside. Jimmy, you want to give the listeners a rundown of what he just asked about that can?
Yes, I do actually, Greg. I'm glad you segued into that because Charlie's just been to the vending machine and come back with a rather large can of coconut water, which is fine. But then he subsequently discovered it was frozen and then asked the question, is this going to be right? Like
is it sweet?
Is it? Sorry, is that sweet? Like, what do you think's going to happen by drinking? And then I also asked the question, how did this happen? I said, well, it's obviously being below 0 degrees. That's generally speaking how water freezes. No doubt there'll be someone in the comments to tell me the freezing point of coconut water is actually like 1 degree. But either way, he's a bit rattled by the old frozen coconut water, worried about his inside. Of all the things I've seen you put in your system, Charlie, frozen coconut water is something you shouldn't be worrying about.
What I would say is you're meant to shake coconut water before consuming.
Oh,
So this was obviously not being shaken. It's frozen. Not the worst thing that's happened to me today.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to shake it not because of any medical reasons. It just, as a product, it would be consumed better. So things
Brilliant.
like best served, chilled. Best served, shaken and chilled. I don't think you've got any, there's no separation molecules
Yep.
that need to be combined or anything like that. You're going to be sweet, my friend.
You're right. I'm drinking it. It's delicious. You know, it's not the worst thing that's happened to me today.
What's the worst thing to happen
So I was
to you
walking
today?
my car this morning.
you walk in your car.
Walking to...
On a lead. Come on. Come
God,
on.
I miss you, boys.
I'm glad you picked up on that, Gio.
I was walking to my car
okay.
this morning and I was swinging my keys on my finger.
Oh, my God.
And my keys went flying off my finger into a bush. And I spent 10 minutes this morning in a bush trying to get my keys because I've already lost the other set of car keys. So I can't lose the other set because it costs thousands of dollars if you lose both of your car keys.
Mate.
Insane expense. I eventually found my keys, but I was then like 15 minutes late to Triple M to do a podcast because I spent all that time looking in a bush.
AirTag.
Nah, no AirTag, just old fashioned.
It's off.
How big is this bush?
It was massive, mate. It was like a hedge. Like, so I was like walking, spinning it,
And you didn't track where the keys went.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter that I tracked it because it's in there. I was having to like move branches out of the way, and eventually I got in there and found it. It was like 10 minutes.
Oh, well.
Was there people walking past?
Yeah, people probably thought I was some junkie looking for cigarette butts or something like that.
Oh, dear. Well, hopefully the buy around can be a tranquil place for
Mate,
you with your coconut water.
Absolutely, just
Frozen.
Nice, frozen, chilled.
Could be a new drink that we bring out, the frozen coconut
Yeah.
water
Never
for our
know.
listeners. Yeah, mate, great to have you in the house, G.I.
Like I said, boys, I miss you. I miss this band.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's going to break out. You know what I've been doing last month. So
Yeah, it's obviously been a very busy month for you as well.
Yep.
A lot of great work with the Stick With It campaign. It was awesome to see how well you guys did that this time around.
yeah, I think with everything, you do one thing the first time and then you learn your lessons and you got to continue to learn, right? So last year we took a lot of learnings from it, and like you just said, I've been busy for the last month. Not only with the Stick With It, but with my own programs that I've been running. Went up to this beautiful community though up in Yarrabah, which is 40 minutes south of Cairns, and it's right on the water. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Anyway, on the drive in there, we saw 2 baby crocs. So we just pulled up and looked at the ocean, saw 2 baby crocs, and went to the community and spoke to them about it. They go, there's people living there for 40 years and they haven't seen that.
Oh, wow.
So it felt like, it's a welcoming kind of sign.
Yeah.
And we left. We went into this primary school, sat in there with the teachers' lounge and had a chat to them about the program that we're going to deliver the next 2 days. And last week when we left, a little baby goanna, believe it or not, came into that wild, in the wild, came and sat where we were sitting. So it's pretty spiritual, pretty special. But
yeah, that's cool.
this little community up there, it's special. It's pretty special.
Mate, I was going to say, you know what usually follows 2 baby crocs?
Is the mama?
Is the mama.
we'll look
I was like, we're going, I hope, just looking at your arm, see if there's any. I'm thinking, man, if I see 2 baby crocs, I'm getting in that car and driving away at full pace.
Well,
Saltwater crocs as well.
Yeah. Well, when we pulled up, we thought it was like 2 fish like skimming across the water. As we got closer, you see the 2 eyes and a bit of a tail sticking out. Anyway, I didn't dare to go any closer to the edge. I was standing right next to the car, so it was like I said, it was pretty special.
The Stick With It campaign, GI. Look, we enjoy a laugh and a joke on this show. But can you talk to us about why it's so important? Because there's some very chilling stats. And not just chilling stats, but stories that happen to real people in real communities and in their everyday life.
Yeah, well, this is what people don't actually realise, that, you know, because you're feeling something, you're feeling emotions or feeling down, you have these, you know, tough thoughts around what's going on between your mind, between your ears, it's normal. And I don't want people to suffer alone. I don't want people to think they're alone either. So stick with it is like, you're going through tough times, reach out, stick with it. Stick with what you're feeling with, but also reach out and ask for help, you know, because you never know what somebody else is going through. You know, they might put on a face and say, yep, I'm all good, I'm all, you know, no problems here, home life is good, but then deep down they're actually not. You know, I've had a few stories come up while I've been doing these programs, and one of them was, I think, just a 54-year-old. He came through my program. This is last year, and out of that there, well, I think by the 3rd visit, he started opening up a lot more. And he was talking about, you know, how he didn't realise how much of a hole he was in until he came through this program, and everybody in that room started talking about, you know, their feelings, and started talking about, I felt like this, so they can actually build a relationship going back and forwards. And that's what the Stick With It campaign is about. Stick with it when you're going through tough times. If you know somebody who is your friend or that, just ask them if they're okay, and stick by them, stick with it, and guide them into, you know, getting help, or maybe it's just sitting there like we are and just being someone else's presence.
I think one of the most important messages I ever received or clung on to, and it is that you're not alone, because you can observe like the people in your life and you think like, well, everyone's got their shit together. Everyone's doing really well. Social media will showcase that, and you kind of think, well, geez, what I should be like. I'm a professional athlete or podcaster doing whatever, and you're like, well, I kind of feel like I should have my shit together. I don't. I'm having these feelings, these thoughts, starting to wander into some strange directions. But then once you know, like, okay, I'm not the only person that feels this way, but you can start to think that you're the different or you're special. When everybody's going through something to an extent, and the most important thing is you stick with it and you find a pathway out.
Yeah, you do. You know, when you're talking about social media, I just caught up with some friends about to head over to Japan, and I caught up with them just across the road in the Alexandria in the grounds, and what they got over there is a Barbie world theme. Anyway, so they got 2 little girls and they were going around, but you see so many influencers sitting there and you don't know what goes on like you said, you don't know what goes on behind the camera, and they're sitting there doing things, and they come over and have conversations and move on to the next thing. Yeah. You guys know, he's run podcasts like you said, and it's easy to put up a blue screen and then fake whatever backdrop you got. So that's one of the conversations we have with them. It's like, what you see on social media doesn't mean it's always, you know, their true life.
Yeah, it's 1 minute of their life.
Yeah.
And it's not a real representation of what actually people go through. Yeah.
Yeah, the stats around social media and the impact it has on mental health, probably a conversation for another day. Have you seen the documentary The Social Dilemma? Either of you boys? It's interesting on Netflix about the rise in social media and the rise in suicide and how the graphs sort of mirror each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, great to have you in here as well because it's Indigenous round. So next 2 weeks, over 2 weeks this year, which is fantastic. So pretty much every team gets a home game. The Cowboys didn't get a home game, so they actually did a ceremony before the game, which was fantastic to see.
Yeah. Well, that's news to me over two weeks of it. So that's actually, I just spoke earlier before about taking lessons and learning on the run. And I think, this just showcases just then. It just tells that they want to celebrate over 2 weeks because you are right. Some teams have, or, through their pathways, have more Indigenous players throughout that than others. So taking it away and not being able to celebrate in their own home game, I think it's, I'm sure they would have had conversations around that last year, and then which is why we're celebrating the 2 weeks of it, which is awesome.
It's awesome, yeah. It's awesome. Rockbuster's answer, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell us what Luke Keary said? So Luke Keary does a podcast now every Monday with us, and he did the Rockbusters GI, which is basically a cryptic clue for a footy player's name.
Yeah.
What I can't even remember what his clue was. It was a Pacific island and it's a tasty ice cream, whatever, something like that. And it was a Holden Cup player who played about 3 NRL games.
Yeah.
Sua Tonga Licky Licky.
Yeah.
Sua Tonga Licky Licky.
Okay, what was the prize for that?
The prize is we might send a box of shapes out.
We don't know.
So
The prize is yet to be determined.
A lot of people got it though.
Did they?
So many people got it. Yeah.
Mate,
Jordan remembers Sua Tonga Licky Licky. Do you remember Sua Tonga Licky Licky, Tony?
Can you stop saying that name? I reckon the name is something it's more
like.
the name. If that's like,
it's like LeBlanc.
yeah.
People love saying the LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
Yeah.
How good's his perm as well? He's got these days the fro.
It's a memorable name.
Yeah.
You're going to remember Liam LeBlanc in like
Liam
20 years. Remember that play for South Sydney, Liam LeBlanc? Oh, yeah, of course, the
He was a
name.
bit of a goer, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was all right, but like, I don't know, like Jai Gray, you're going to be like, who?
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to Jai Gray.
So that was his clue.
Yeah.
Something about,
it was like a Pacific island and that ice cream is delicious.
Yeah.
Something like along
he's
those
clinging on
sorts
to a
of
few
lines.
things. Yeah, clinging on. But I think Kez can take a back seat for Rockbuster. I've got this moving forward.
What was it like playing with Keary? Did you enjoy playing with him?
Yeah, I did. He's, I guess what you see now, the way he is around on media, is what you got as a person, is what you got as a player. He wasn't afraid to voice his opinion. He wasn't afraid to suggest new things, which is what you want in players, especially in your halfback or your 5'8", especially in your half. So even though he was young coming through, make his debut for us, he wasn't afraid to tell Sammy Burgess or, older heads, John Sutton, it's like, hey, I want you in the seat. This is the player I want, even playing outside Reno.
Yeah, wow.
Russell Crowe included in that?
No, that's the story he can tell.
He has told it.
He has told it. Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely told it. So from your perspective, T.I., what happened?
I was in bed.
We did a...
Right,
I was in bed.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
Right, it sounds like something from a dream. It sounds like something from a dream, but you were there. Did it feel like a dream, or were you like, what did you think when... You're seeing this Hollywood A-lister actor and Luke Keary.
Oh, man, you just, when you're in the moment, you don't really comprehend what was going on. What I do remember is him walking up this grass hill, Luke Keary, going, I'm packing me shit, I'm going home. And it was like, then senior players had to go, something's actually really happening here. So we had to... So Jason Clark, and we had to walk up the hill and get him because where he is in Nana Glen, in the mountains, there's no such thing as taxis. There's no such thing as Ubers. And it's about, I don't know, maybe a 4-hour walk to the airport.
Wow.
I think my favourite part...
I didn't see Luke Keary after that.
My favourite part of the story is like, Russell Crowe's dad came out and was like, what's up? And he's like, it happens all the time. It's like, what? Like, just your old man sitting off in the house just going, don't worry about Russell. Baby, my boy. Nah, man, it happens all the time. Let's get back to bed, Luke.
Mate, I wasn't there for the initial argument, what was said in that, but we got, I don't know for second-hand stories or whatnot, but yeah, it was... I remember as Luke Keary just walking up this hill. Saying, I'm out.
Sayonara.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't do that to us in the buy round ever. Hopefully we keep him here in the buy round.
Oh, you'll hear it if he does.
Yeah. Slagging us off left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Bunnies, it's probably good to talk about the Bunnies off the top here because their top 8 hopes are starting to slide a little bit. Injuries seem to really be hurting them, GI.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, when you got really class players that's sitting out for a long period of time, then, you know, no secret has been in the media is their grounds, right? Is the surface that they're training on. So,
You reckon that plays a part?
yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, it's a brand new field, it's a brand new facility.
They got 30% of the calf injuries, though. It's got to be something. Like 30% of all calf injuries in the NRL from South.
Well, you know, you can talk about the field or you can talk about what they're doing in the gym or what they, you know, all the way down to their footwear.
Yeah.
But you can never know until, I guess, when they come out and talk about it, right? And no one's coming out and saying anything. They're obviously doing, as you guys would know, in every professional sport, they check everything, right? So I'm not too sure. Maybe, was he going to see, like talking about Latrell here, he's going to see neuro.
He's been to see a neurologist to try and help with the nerve pain.
It's back and referral pain.
Yeah, but I think the pain's in his leg though. But he has done his calf through. It initially was
like
a calf
nerve?
injury. Yeah, so it was described by a doctor as being similar to the Tom Flegler injury.
Okay.
However, some journalists are now saying that he'll be back in the next couple of weeks. So it's a bit confusing, Latrell Mitchell injury at the moment, to be honest.
Well, being there under Wayne, he knows what you see on media is not the Wayne Bennett that you know you and I know behind closed doors. So he'll keep an eye on all his players, which he does, and making sure they hit the right form at the right time. And you know when Latrell comes back, because he hurt his back in the Newcastle game.
Yeah,
Yes,
and then that was a stem from.
Yeah, he had to come on. Yeah,
and then he played Magic Round, and then he got injured at Magic Round as well, just as he was about to get named the Origin team, and then he had his calf. He did his calf as well when he was nearly back. He's had a torrid run.
Yeah,
I mean the last few years he played 11 games in 2024, 11 games in 2025, and he's played 9 games this year.
But how scary is it when he starts playing in fine form like he did at the start of the year? Like, it was scary to see.
Yeah.
Like, hitting that type of form. But then you look at their roster, like Cam Murray, I think he's been out.
Yeah. Carlos Duncan's
David
been out a bit for
Cheese, you know. Who else? Campbell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's missed time.
If they get everyone on the field, they could give it a shake.
Oh,
but it's just getting everyone on the field. And they got some troops back this week. Which
do you want me to tell you who they are? I'll tell you who they are now. Cam Murray's back. Dave Feeder's back. Talis Duncan's back as well. Yeah. So that's huge.
You reckon, there's a theory, you reckon they just want to sit out in the bottom 8 so they can get all their good players back to have a good, better run through?
Yeah, have an easier week for the opponent.
I don't know. There's a theory. Just a theory.
What do you boys think? Because Latrell's a November 1 guy, so he's available to negotiate with other clubs from November 1. It's hard to work out what he's worth because of the amount of game time that he's missed. What do you boys think he's worth? I
think he's worth what he's on about now.
About $1 million a year.
Oh, man, he'd be on more than that.
Yeah, probably 1.2.
Like, he brings some, I know South's bringing in Payne Haas. Like, him and Murray together are going to be so hard, and they're going to get them in positions. But Latrell's the person to finish it off. And you know what? When you think about the big games, where Souths want to be, it's going to come down to a moment. Like a moment in a game. Field goal, tackle break, chase back, whatever it is, it's going to come down to a moment. And I don't know if there's a player in the game, maybe outside Nathan, that you'd want that moment to go to. He'd be tossling between Nathan, Reece, and him in terms of who you're gonna give the ball. They used to ask Cam Smith all the time, like, who do you give the ball to?
Yeah, with
the game on the line.
You do have to be on the field though to get those moments.
You do, but they don't have another moments player like him.
Do you reckon he'll, if he was to look elsewhere, you reckon PNG will be or Perth Bears? Or I think he won't, because he loves his cattle, he loves his home. So
you'd know better than most that in terms of what Latrell's. He's not going to be short of a quid. I don't think he like if he wanted to like maximize his earnings, he'd be going over to PNG.
Yeah.
I don't know if
He
he.
seems
I
like a
reckon he
work-life
stays at South. Personally, I reckon
Would you be able to live in PNG?
Me, I've been there. Like, if it was for a few years to try and make as much money as
Yeah.
possible, yeah, I could do it for sure. It's staying in a resort, basically. Like, it's pretty good.
I don't think I could, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Moving from Coogee to Little Bay, and then everyone started coming to Little Bay, and I was like, I'm out, so I bought out west. Everyone just started boys, I see you, it's like 5-6 days a week.
Mate, see, that would actually be torture, is seeing you, like, everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like, when we go away for work, say, and we're in the same place for a week, I even get sick of bumping into people in the lift lobby. That would be, like, permanent.
But mate, these are all things that Chamis and McPherson all have sorted. Like, how are we gonna? Like, we don't have to say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same facility as admin, staff.
It's like have you ever been? Oh, you don't go grocery shopping. When you go grocery shopping,
What do you mean I don't go grocery
you
shopping?
get delivery, or you go to your little
No, I don't.
trendy little mini marts. It's not the same for you. When you're pushing your trolley and you see someone who you know in Coles or Woolies or wherever
Small
you do your
talk.
shopping, and it's like, and then you always see on like every aisle, it's like,
Yeah.
hello again. Yeah.
See,
You'd never do that. You
I'm not a trolley guy. No, I'm a basket man.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
go in, go
because you're a basket case.
Yeah, like, you get your meal. I'm like to shop the day of, so you don't like get your groceries the day of every day. Or Siobhan does it.
Oh, that is gonna change when you have that kid, Charlie.
See,
my god.
I actually, you're saying Latrell's still worth that $1.2 million.
Absolutely is.
I reckon it's almost you can't pay him that much money because, like, mate, 11 games. 11. He hasn't played more than 11 games the last 3 years. Like, it's.
How old is he?
He is. I reckon he's about 30. Yeah, he might be 29.
No, it'd be 28, 29.
28, 29. So what, you reckon his next big deal will be 5 years?
He's 29. So you're South Sydney, Jimmy. You're giving him 5 years, $6 million.
I reckon. Yeah. Yeah, the cap's only going to go up as well. He'd be pretty. I reckon him and Wayne will broker that deal. I think Wayne and him have a tight enough relationship to know what the value is and what's to be expected.
Because it's not only that, right? It's you're looking at his PR. You know, you're using his image and bringing that revenue in from members as well.
He sells like
He puts bums on seats.
Yeah,
absolutely.
without a
He
doubt.
does.
When he's on, he's the best player to watch in the game,
Yeah.
like easily.
I reckon he's worth whatever the club wants to pay him.
Yeah, that's fair.
You reckon Souths will play finals this year?
I think so. I think they will. Whether they'll finish 6th or 7th, I don't think they'll finish 8th. Around 6th, 7th, they'll finish, which gives a really good, round one of finals.
They play Roosters round 27.
Which the Roosters could be
Yeah.
resting at that point. They and everyone be like, they won't do that. I'm pretty sure they did rest players last year. The Roosters. In
Yeah,
that
they
game.
could do.
Yeah,
Going to be a huge game next week. South Street Dogs. It's huge. Friday night.
massive.
Friday night.
Blockbuster.
Should I
Like,
go through the dogs run home? Because apparently I've been doing that in every podcast. I've been getting comments saying I've read out the dogs run home.
No,
about
let's
12
not. Let's
different times.
not bother doing that. On another team,
Yes.
mate. Adam Reynolds.
Yeah.
What a career it's been. 2-time premiership winner, arguably one of the South's biggest mistakes, letting him go. Got that premiership with the Broncos last year. Now the Broncos can't play finals. How important is it to celebrate his career for someone like the Broncos? So I think they play the Dogs round 27. The week before, it's Melbourne Storm at home. Dogs away in 27 on a Thursday. At a call when the Dogs might be in the position with nothing to play for. How important is that sense of occasion, do you think, in getting that right?
I think it's vitally important because he bought Brisbane Broncos a premiership as well.
Yeah.
That's only last year. He's played in the grand final at South. He's still a rookie. Learnt along the way. But if you remember when JT retired, he was like a roadshow that year. So pretty much towards the back end of his career. They were celebrating everywhere that he went. I see out in Reynolds, they should go above and beyond for their home game, especially for their own game. Well, that's the because you don't want to be coming down to Sydney on a Thursday night and there's going to be 12,000. Brisbane Broncos, you got 44, 45.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter when you play. You can play on a Thursday night up there. You still get 40-odd thousand. So I think they should look at celebrating his career in Brisbane. You know, going up there and then saying that he wants to win a premiership for him. And
he's done it, yeah.
He's done it. You know, he's done it. But, yeah, he's got to get back on the field. He does have a history of, you know, those little awkward head knocks and little bumps and bruises. But if he can play that last home game, absolutely they should celebrate him.
You know Maguire pretty well as well. Do you think he'd be open for Adam deciding, or do you think it's up to the coach?
I think the relationship that they have, you know, Reno and Madge, I don't see why, you know, yes, Madge still wants to win everything, and they'll be, you know, won't be shining the spotlight on Reno. They'll be the Broncos, you know, I guess staffing to do that. With Reno and Madge, they'll just think about football, want to win that there and want to finish off the season good. Because I don't believe they should bloody, I think there was talk after last week, they want to bloody new players look forward to next year. I don't think they should. I think they should actually think about now and winning as many games as they can to finish off the season. Because you don't want to go in pre-season, right? You don't want to go in pre-season and it's like we lost the last 4, lost the last 6. Like that's not a very good look on the club.
They're in danger of finishing second bottom.
Yeah.
I think they've only had one win since round 8.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Which came against the Panthers, and it was an unbelievable performance. It was arguably one of the best performances any side in the NRL have put together. Like, they were amazing against the Panthers. It was a great game, but Broncos played so well.
Isn't that bizarre, though?
Yeah,
Isn't
I know
it bizarre
but the same happened with the Dogs. The Dogs had that in their locker, put on the game of the season against Penrith, and then been so inconsistent since.
And we've heard about it from Jimmy Graham all year about this Dogs performance against Penrith in round 4 or 5. Yeah,
it's great.
Where Penrith had their worst game they've had.
Round 4.
Yeah, it was like, mate, you got to get over that performance. You're hanging on, you're clinging on to something.
Anyway, we're on to the Broncos. We're talking about the Broncos.
Yeah, we're talking Bronx. With Madge, you obviously had him, and you guys won a premiership, and you went through sort of what the Broncos are going through now. The drop wasn't as significant for you guys, but you did miss the 8 the year after.
Yeah, we did, and you know that's it's never nice after, especially coming off a premiership winning season. And you know, you always want to play finals because you're a better chance of winning the premiership. Look, we haven't dropped to where Broncos was. We didn't, but there's obviously things going on behind closed doors. I don't know what it is up there, and there's always these rumours of there being rock stars and don't want to put in the hard work. And is Madge going too hard? Does Madge need to taper off a little bit? Like, at the end of the day, you can only go on what we've seen in the media because no one's going to come out and leak and talk down on their coach after they just won a premiership.
Yeah.
Or they're going to talk about, you know, different leaders around the time. You know, I'm not sure. Like, are they getting the best out of Ezra?
Oh, definitely not. Like, he is a gun, man. Yeah. He hasn't got anywhere near to where he can be. Maybe the Broncos, what they need to find is a consistent game because we've seen that they can turn it on. They turned it on last year for 7 games, like the most unbelievable 3 games that I've ever seen by players and clubs. Like that was beyond good. I don't know if that'll ever get matched for a finals run, for getting hot at the right time. The closeness of every single game that they were in, it was so tense. But then even this year, like they've been inconsistent, maybe knowing they've got that in their locker. Maybe there is a bit of a lack of response to Maguire's words, and I think maybe they'll look back at the beginning of the season and you have this supernova finish to the year, and then a few lads go a few key players go into international camps and go over to England. Then coming back, now, everyone say about defending premiers and what you've got to do to prepare to go and defend the Premiership. But one of the things that Brisbane Broncos had to do was fly over to England, like you guys did, GI. So you, South Sydney, you flew over and played St. Helens. But it was suggested that there was an army camp before the Broncos went to England. Now, as a player, especially one of the star players and the key influences in the team, when you've had this huge end of year, then you go over to England to play the Ashes, you fly back, you have a bit of a break, and then it's, all right, we're into an army camp, and then we're going back over to England. I guess the most people out there listening to this that haven't experienced playing in the NRL will be like, well, this sounds like the time of my life. And if you don't get that right, it can go south like it has for the Broncos this year. Like it sounds so appealing to most people, and even myself saying it's like, God, what I'd love to give to be part of that group, but it can drain you. Do you see similar experiences from your time? You finished 14. You obviously had that time up at Russell's Farm that you spoke about, but then, after it, you're off to England. It's demanding, it's draining, and not just on you, but your circle and your family and everybody in your bubble.
So we had the 14, then we had the test matches over New Zealand. Coming back from that and then going, it wasn't an army camp, it was just like a leadership camp on Russell's, and then coming into Chrissy and then going over to England. So it is taxing. It can be, I guess, emotionally draining at the same time, because when you turn up to train, you got to be on. Like, there's no laxy-daisy about it. There's no 50-50. It's like you come into training, and then that's where your leadership, puts in standards. You coach, but then it comes from your leaders. If your leaders start tapering off a little bit, well, then the rest will probably see that there. But if you've got strong people underneath, like we were lucky, like we had Cam Murray as well. He's captain of the club now. He kept us on our toes as well. So, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to actually put a finger on it. I don't know. Maybe weeks to come, we'll know the full story beyond it.
There's probably, to explain to the listeners, to take you behind the scenes, there's probably a Goldilocks effect there, where some clubs you go, they're undertrained, or there's too much time off, and there's some clubs that probably overtrained and overdo it. There is a bit of a sweet spot, and there's also a recognition that the coach needs to know what that group needs. Maybe if Maguire was given his time over again, he'd look at it and go, this group needs a refresh. They don't need a drilling. They need a and also the impact that it, like, a lot of travel during that final series, like we've already said about going over to England. To go over to England again after an Ashes series, like, the people at home are like, well, and obviously when you win, you're out celebrating the demands of being part of that winning group. You don't get much time. The people at home are going, well, when's my time with you? And again, for our listeners and our viewers, like, it is the time of your life, but it can quickly become a drain where you turn up to training and are just like, well, I'm just here surviving instead of actually thriving. 3 or 4 days away at home, come back, recharge. Right, I'll hit the ground running for you now.
Wasn't just England as well. They did a 2-week camp in Toowoomba, which you guys would know as players. Like, 2 weeks is a pretty long time for a camp, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was referring to, the army camp. It was 2 weeks in Toowoomba.
2 weeks in Toowoomba, which they were allowed to go home on weekends, but
that's a long time away, especially going over to England for 10 days, 2 weeks as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Plus, a lot of them play for the Kangaroos.
Like,
so they were going, obviously, playing the Ashes.
Play the Ashes, come back. They would have had a little bit of time off. They would, because I think you've got to have a minimum...
The Ashes finished in...
You've got to have a minimum 4 to 6 weeks, isn't it, these days, as an NRL player, I think. So it would have been Ashes finish in what? November? Early November? Late October? Something like that?
Early November.
And then they would have come back, had about 4 to 6 weeks off.
Would have been like second week in November.
Yeah.
Because the other clubs started 1st November.
Correct, yeah. It's good.
So it would have been second week.
Yeah.
So they went back over.
They came back just probably around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And then they would have had
There's
they had
mandated
2
time
weeks
off,
until
but you can all you'd be pressured to go. Well, you'd feel the pressure to go back early.
Yeah, but the
Did
two.
you? I didn't.
But
Me and time on my hands are like ADHD kicks in. I
Mate.
just need somewhere to be. Need something to do. Sit at home. Just,
If they gave me 6 to 8 weeks off, I'll be 10. I need a refresh. I'm with you for 10 months of the year. Come on.
Just a question on Madge
Yeah.
and what he's like, because obviously he has this perception of performance that everyone needs to be at the top
Yes.
level at all times. Is that what he was like for you guys when he was your coach?
Look, I'm not here to degrade Madge. Like he's a wonderful coach, but there's some instances where you can't always be 100%, and you can't always perform 120%. You need your downtime. You need time away from the club. You need time away from players. You can't be sitting there talking footy 24/7. Like, it's me as a player knowing that. Like, there's no chance I'll sit there and have conversations with, say we go out for a quick coffee. I wouldn't even mention footy. We wouldn't even talk about footy until we're actually in the club. And I think for Madge, it just goes on what you said before. He needs to find that perfect balance. Like, when can I ring the senior players to talk about, training tomorrow? Is it 2 hours after we finish at training, or do I get them in early instead of ringing them up at night? For having those conversations. So I think he's definitely learnt a lot from coaching New South Wales.
Yeah.
I can see the change in him, but then going into that back into the NRL world week in, week out, knows what works, knows what doesn't. So he's probably needs to find that sweet spot.
It's interesting because basically what you're saying is you need to learn how to manage players differently, because you're talking and saying you wanted to race back to training. You two are sort of on the opposite ends of a spectrum here. You probably were all rugby league all of the time, and then you needed to switch off from it. And then it's understanding how to manage the two of you, because it would be probably quite different.
Yeah, you manage different personalities. And people with, I didn't like sitting at home. I get bored. And when I'm bored, I do stupid stuff. So I didn't want to do stupid stuff. So I'd go ahead and train.
But, Des would ring you probably all hours of the day, chat footy?
Not really ring, no. Once I was out of the building, the phone calls about football were off limits. But the days were long. And you know what? Even with Des, he had that intense style, which brought results. It really did. I'll never forget my very first game for the Bulldogs was a trial game against the Raiders, and I'm thinking, are we getting ready for the grand final here? And Des was like, "This is the most it was the most important game that I'd ever played in." Or that's what it felt like. It was like the last game I played was, Tri-Series Four Nations final against Australia. I played a GF for St Helens against Leeds, but this feels like it's better win this one. Like, it's all on the line, And that was just Des, and that, I think that has a certain lifespan, that level of intensity. Look, a lot of conjecture around, what the Broncos should or shouldn't do with the offering of extension to Michael Maguire. I think Michael Maguire should be congratulated for what he's done and what he's achieved. And you know what? Forget what everyone's saying about the Broncos. I think Michael Maguire should be plotting his next move, which in his next move should be go into coaching immortality and have a record that trumps absolutely everybody that is at the coaching table, because he's already won 2 premierships with 2 different teams. No one's done 3 from 3.
Super League.
He's got the Super League in his arsenal. He's got
South
New
Wales.
Zealand in his arsenal, and he's got New South Wales in his locker. What the one thing that could separate for all the doubters of Madge, if he goes, I got 3 premierships with 3 different clubs, I'd forget signing an extension at Brisbane. I think it's time for Michael Maguire to put himself first and go, let's go and win one more somewhere else.
But could
and
he?
then, yes, you know what? I reckon there's some teams there that probably need that level of 100 miles an hour, 24/7, and they go, boom.
Do you reckon Madge could say that's it?
I don't know. I don't know him well enough to.
I don't think he could. I think he's a man that's on a mission, and if he could, he will win another premiership with. I don't know if it's with the Brisbane Broncos or it can be someone else, but he definitely has that. Like I said, like I just rattled off just then. New South Wales, New Zealand, Wingham,
He knows how to win.
us, South, and then Brisbane.
Here's one for you then, boys, because we were about to talk about them. The Melbourne Storm. Could that be his team? Because let's say he's signed for next year at the Broncos. Bellamy now is officially going again next year. That's been confirmed through the weekend. And Cam Smith basically put a line through Billy Slater on Monday night on 100% footy. He said there's no way Billy would ever coach Melbourne Storm. And he wasn't saying it, Cam Smith, in a jokey way. He was being very adamant that Billy Slater will never coach the Melbourne Storm.
Why just Melbourne Storm?
Well, just to be a head coach in general.
I'll be a head coach in general. Yeah.
Because he loves his life and the lifestyle he lives and all that. So then that opens up the opportunity for maybe Storm, if they've got Bellamy next year and the Broncos have Michael Maguire in 2027, could they go after Madge for 2028?
I reckon they'll be having serious considerations to do that. Yeah, he was assistant down there for a while, wasn't he?
He was my assistant.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say my assistant. Craig's assistant.
You ran
Craig's
the show there.
assistant.
Yeah.
But, I think, I don't know, I reckon they would do play, but he's definitely in the top three. Like,
Candidates.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they're strongly, they already came out and said Billy's our number one.
Yeah.
So really it's up to Billy. If he wants to say yes, he will take it. Is it up to, are they going to pass it down to his son, Aaron? That's there. That's been there for a few years now. Knows what his father's like, know what the Storm system's like. Or do they just, do a play for Madge?
What do you just slightly away from the coaching future? First time in a long time that Melbourne haven't played finals. Now, you know Bellamy really well. What do you think he'll change? Because do you think he'll look at it as like what I've done hasn't worked? Like he's never been in this situation before, like not in an authentic way. Like he came back from that salary cap where they didn't play finals, but it's the performances have made them not play finals this year. They've not been that. They've shown so much fight. The game against was it who they lost the Roosters the other day. The Dogs. They're fighting for everything. They're not that far away. But for me, the approach of Craig Bellamy and the Melbourne Storm is going to be really interesting. Like how much he goes away from what he's already done, the lessons. Obviously, some senior players sort of getting towards the back end. Like, what do you think his next move is?
I don't think he'll taper off. To be honest, I don't think he will. No one's seen this from Melbourne Storm. No one's seen Melbourne Storm not play the finals. The last one was 2010. That's for the salary cap scandal. And go forward, like after that, their salary cap scandal, 2011, they're still playing finals. 2012, they win it. So they've been playing finals. It's just uncharacteristic, like for Melbourne, and no one's used to it. No one's used to seeing Melbourne not play finals. If you look at it, they've added a lot of off-field emotions.
Yeah, big time.
Khalifa with the heart.
Yeah.
Katoa with the head knocks. Bellier coming out and all that there. So there's not little issues.
It's a good point.
They're not little. Pappenhausen leaving, and he had like his knee, but they're not little.
Yeah,
So, but going back to your point, like they're in it, they just can't finish it because they don't have their best players all playing together.
Yeah.
Consistently, week in, week out.
You think that because of the effort that they've shown, that they can justifiably turn around and say, look, we've just missed our big players and we had an emotional year due to the fact of things that are out of our control, but we stick to what we're doing. And next year we'll be in the top four again.
Yeah, that's my take on it. Anyway, that's my opinion. You won't hear Melbourne or Craig or Harry Grant come out and make excuses for themselves. They'll just say, well, it's not our performance. It's one of those years. I want to know how those teddy bears went. And Craig going home and punch the shit out of them. So, mate, I think I don't think they'll go away from what they've been
Yeah.
doing. You know, it's worked for them for many, many years, and they have standards down there that they live by and they do by. But like I said, that's just my take on it. Maybe it's emotional. They're not little things. They're big, big impacting, life impacting. And because you feel, when you're in the club and you feel someone's, going through those, you filters all the way through the team.
Yeah.
So, but then again, don't have your good players consistently playing week in, week out. So coming back, like Hughes playing with Sewer, first year playing together for, consistently. Munster, in there as well. Harry Grant's missed a few. You don't have your consistent centres. Xavier Coates been out.
Yeah.
Achilles, So he's a real aerial threat. And plus he's a big body. He carries the ball back. If I was Sue, if I had a big body like Xavier, it's like, here you go. And just do the little zippy stuff,
Yeah. You can either score 100-metre tries or pass it to Coates.
The players that they got there, yes, they've done the jobs, but if you look at those players that they're senior players, the ones that's been around for a long time, that can finish them off, you know.
Definitely. And it would have been, I guess, emotional after losing another grand final. That group, because that was their second grand final as a group that they've lost.
It was,
That could have,
Back-to-back years as well.
Yeah, so if you go onto that there and then
and
back losses.
they really
They
would
should
have looked at last year's. And look, we credited Broncos earlier in the show, but from a Melbourne perspective, you're going, my God, there's 6 50-50s that went the way of the Broncos.
Or was it Katoa passing to Pappenhausen at the end, near the end of the game, or Pappenhausen passing to Katoa? They got knocked
Mm.
down by... even Pappenhausen ran to the corner. If he ran inside, he would have scored on the post.
Yeah, like all these little moments where you go, like, I remember calling that game, Kamikamitha scores just after the second half. Like, it's probably over.
Yeah.
Probably over, really.
Yeah.
And he... Oh, God. You can imagine the torment that they
Can't
went
believe
through.
Harry Grant hasn't won a premiership yet as well.
That sounds so wrong.
It's so wrong, isn't it? Just let's talk about the Knights quickly, because everyone was annoyed from Monday's show that we spoke about the Broncos but didn't give the Knights credit. So they're in a great spot, aren't they?
They
in a
are.
great spot.
And they're another team like Melbourne, in defeat, actually come away with their heads held high. They've had a couple of games there. The one against the Sharks.
Roosters.
The Roosters game. They walk away from that. I think they went down to Melbourne this year, actually, and in defeat, come away with lots of positives. I think Justin Holbrook has to be given Coach of the Year in terms of the expectation of the Knights versus where they are, as blown away any of the commentary before the season began, and that a lot of it has to be down to the coach there. They've got some fantastic players, and they took advantage of a Broncos team that were on the ropes. I think Reynolds played 5 minutes, Willison played 6. Added insult to injury, you come up against people like Fletcher Sharp. I think really for the Knights to go deep into this final series, it's going to be on Kalen Ponga. But they're right, the Knights fans. But that's life. The story is the Broncos season's over. Like they're the blockbuster club, and the Knights, they can surprise a few people this year. You just wish that they still had Dylan Lucas, Dylan Brown, but they've still got some guns.
Yeah, I was at Fox and I was watching this, and we had a chat with Justin Holbrook after the game. Had a chat with Gags and had a chat with Bradman Best. But I was looking at it and I asked the producers, like, can you give us a rundown of how many less games has the Newcastle Knights have compared to 2 players from Brisbane? So 2 players I'm talking about, Ben Hunt, Adam Reynolds, 600 games. 600 games, right? Just them 2 alone. Across the board, obviously a lot more. But if you go back and look at, I asked them, so what's the how many less games? Because you look at Newcastle, they're not household names, right? But they're workers. And that's what Newcastle is, they're workers. And you want to know how many less games they had? Newcastle Knights as a team had 450 less games.
Wow.
450 less games across the board.
Wow.
So the full Broncos team, or just...
So you had 2, so the full Broncos team, right?
Yeah. Yeah, total caps, yeah.
Whole cap. But you have two players in there, Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt, 600 games, 600 plus games between them two.
Yeah.
As a team, that 17 that took that field that night, 450 games less.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Just goes to show
there's
workers.
Yeah.
Dylan Lucas,
yeah.
no Brown.
Yeah.
But they had players in there that know Justin Holbrook, that know the system, what they got now, and they just perform. Like, you look at that game, they just worked.
And they've just been able to today re-sign Francis Mane-Leilua, who's burst onto the scene. It was a November 1 guy.
He's talent stacked. They're talent stacked in the edge back row.
Massively.
And that's a huge sigh of relief for Newcastle fans. You don't want to see him go. There's a few players actually that have re-signed that clubs will be very happy that they're not going to flirt with November 1.
Yeah, 100%.
It goes back to what you said before. It goes back to the coach. They're re-signing because of the coach.
Great point.
Yeah.
You know, what he brought there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Caleb
Mooney.
Ponga. Mooney.
Mooney was, where was he at?
He was at
Right?
Canberra.
Yeah. Went up there and look at him.
Yeah.
Playing
And
so
he's
many
one of their
minutes.
alphas up there as well now,
Yeah,
which is
he's
incredible.
he's perfect for that role.
Yeah.
Like absolutely perfect. I still think though for the Knights to progress, Ponga has to do a bit more. Like he has to do
Like,
the moments he needs to and he didn't get the opportunity to have a moments game against the Broncos, but there's been those closer games like the ones against the Roosters, like the one against the Sharks. That's on Ponga to win that. You mentioned before about Latrell Mitchell. I think Latrell Mitchell at Newcastle, he wins them that game against the Sharks and he wins them that game against the Roosters. That's the difference. And that's probably where I think Ponga probably knows. Like, I'm the man here. Like, I'm the one to nail down those close games. And the boys are going to keep on providing me the platform to do it. But if they're going to advance to the next level, those close games, Kalen Ponga has to find a way to win it for them. That's what would be the expectation upon him. He's carrying that on his shoulders. But you know what? He's got it in his locker. He can do it. He can turn those games into close losses into huge wins.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that was going to be my question was, can he do it? He can.
Yeah, it can.
He can.
Definitely.
And like, mate, their team, like, looking at it on paper, it's really impressive. And yes, they've lost those players like Dylan Lucas and Dylan Brown, but Dylan Lucas drops out. Francis Mane-Leilua starts in the back row instead. And then Dylan Brown drops out and Sandon Smith goes into halfback, who's an out-and-out halfback as well.
Yeah, so it's not as consequential as what other teams would be if you lose your strike back row and your halfback.
And you tipped them for the spoon.
I did, Charlie. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. I mean, most people have them near the bottom of the ladder anyway, mate, so I won't take it too bad. You just mentioned about some of those players that have re-signed.
Yes.
Jackson Ford re-signed at the Warriors.
What a story.
Which is a massive signing for them.
You know, when he was leaving the Dragons, I actually...
was you there with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
He made his debut when I played my 400th game. For
God, you
the
must feel
Dragons.
old.
Yeah, no, it does make me feel old.
I can't talk.
Yeah.
I've got more grace.
He was on the outer. It just wasn't working out for
Yeah.
him. Mate, he's a funny guy. Jackson Ford. When he was like in Reggie's, he came in one day and was like his back was busted. He went to the physio and the physio was like, "Oh, what happened? Like, what did you do? Something pinging at training 2 days ago because we had the day off." He's like, "Oh no, I was concreting yesterday." It's like physio was like,
Was he full time?
"Yeah."
So he wasn't.
No, he was full time. He just did a day concreting. Because
Keep his options open.
he's
Cash
not
money.
like
Cash job.
I don't know. You'll have to check with the ATO on that one. But yeah, he was like, "Nah, sorry, I was concreting." I don't know if he was like doing it as a favour, like or at home, but he's like, "Yeah, my back's knackered from concreting." The physio was like, "No, we can't be doing this." But anyway, like I got hit up about him potentially going over to England, and then the opportunity at the Warriors came. Just to make there's so many stories of people like him that are on that. Or on the outer or on the fringe, then go to another club and then they get that opportunity. A little bit of belief. There's a space opens up for them, especially as a middle forward, and he just goes bang, shoots the lights out. So congratulations to 40 and Warriors. They've got a good one there.
Speaking of those players, like he's staying on Wars. Kurt Capewell, same story.
Yeah.
They Brisbane had all these young bloods coming through and they didn't know where he was, and he just goes, I think it was the same situation. I can go to England. I'm happy to sign somewhere else. Go to the Wires, and he's back playing Origin.
The Titans
Hooker, Oliver Pascoe.
Oliver Pascoe,
He
that's
was
it,
a
yeah.
Tyler
Mate.
12 months ago. He got Q Cup
Canada boy.
Mate, what about that story?
Q Cup Player of the Year last year, while also being a Tyler on the side, and now he's a November 1 guy. He's probably going to get a good paycheck coming
he
soon.
should do.
Yeah.
He should do.
Those little people, I love watching him play.
Yeah, he's a go, man. There's so many sliding doors moments in people's careers. Some people just need that little bit of an opportunity or a change of environment, shoot the lights out.
Well, Cody Walker and Jerome Hughes are examples of those. Well, Cody Walker debuted pretty late as far as halves go. Jamal Fogarty pretty late.
Yeah.
Jerome Hughes at the Titans, they didn't think he was good enough.
Yeah.
Goes to Melbourne and he's now the Kiwi halfback. What do you win? Dally M
Yeah, you
last
want to
year.
tell him, yeah.
Like, it's incredible. Hey, Jackson Ford's a 2-year deal. Also, he's going to be back before finals.
That's
He's
great
about
news.
2-3 weeks away from returning for the Warriors.
Warriors in the conversation for the best pack in the league.
And then the Dragons, to continue their signing spree, which has been very impressive, they've now re-signed, obviously, the Catchman boys at the start of the week, and they've re-signed Pacifici Tonga today
That's
as well.
huge. I thought
Today.
Today, yeah.
I thought once the Couchman boys were done, I thought, oh, it's the end of Loco's time there. Mate, good on them. Mate, they're keeping the nucleus of that young forward pack together, which they're going to build on. It's going to be interesting to see just how Keon fits in there. And 12 months ago, or whenever it was that Keon signed, it seemed like a really great signing, and it still is. But they've obviously addressed the other areas now where Keon's maybe like the third most important signing. And it was like this big, wow, we've got the helicopter out for the marquee player. But I reckon he's relegated to third. I reckon it goes
How good are the Couchman boys?
Drinkwater, Metcalf, Keon. Then maybe Sami or Watson,
yeah. Or Nikarima.
Yeah.
Like
Nikarima. Mate, actually, you know what?
about him.
Keon's gone to fourth. Mate, he's off the podium.
Yeah.
Leave my boy alone. Leave him
He's
alone.
off the podium, mate. Like, mate, what? Forget, mate. The Dragons are looking good for next
Mate,
year.
do you reckon that, speaking of the Dragons, like what Dean Young has done, and it just goes to show them boys is re-signing.
Yeah.
You know,
The
we talked about it earlier about coach. He obviously wants to change the perception of the club and change what he's doing. You know, it was a big call getting rid of Mickey Ennis.
100%.
You know, as your current assistant coach, and get rid of him because he wants to do it his way, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reckon they'll make a play for Bostock?
Well, that's what
Bring
Dave
him back.
Riccio threw up on the threw up. That's probably not a word you say. He vomited. Yeah, he tossed up on the NRL podcast. He's a November 1 guy, Jack Bostock, and they've also got guys like Herbie Farmworth, the Hamaso Tabuai Fido, Selwyn Cobbo.
Yeah.
So
Can't keep them all.
Bostock might not be as important, but Bostock's
Come
young.
back, Jerry gone.
Yeah, Bostock's younger brother has just re-signed at the Dolphins though, so that might be enough to keep him around. The interesting one, Pacifici Tonga as well, was he actually asked for a release.
Yes, he did,
at
yeah.
the start of the year when things were going bad. So to the fact that they managed to,
He didn't get taken to Vegas, did he?
he didn't get taken to Vegas.
I think he was
and then he
pissed
felt
about
like
that.
his
Throw toys
first.
out the cotton. I want to release.
Yeah.
Not taking me to Vegas.
I'd do the same.
There's a reason. There's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
Before we preview the round, Jimmy, we've got to do our lessons of league, all thanks to Melrose Health's daily longevity stack, which we are loving here on the buy round. Over the next 6 weeks, Jimmy, you have been doing your lessons of league, basically insights from your playing career, little tidbits that you learned along the way. Now, the first couple we've done, they've been very interesting. What have you got today?
Yeah, so I've got adapting new ideas. So the field of sports science, the field of peak performance, often new ideas, new philosophies get brought in. So I look at the stacking the odds in your favour. So that was always a theme of mine to get the best out of myself. And, you know, there's lots of different areas that you could look to focus on. But if you stack the odds in your favour, you increase the probability of achieving the result. So what would happen is a new idea or a new way to stack the odds in your favour. We see a lot of teams doing the breathing, right? After a try, before a game, half time. Now, that is a performance advantage. That is there to increase the likelihood of a positive performance. We didn't quite have the breathing on the field. We did do some breath work in our training and our preparation, but even that comes into that. That was new at one stage. Things like yoga, Pilates, different stretches, different training techniques or whatever it may be. You have to bring them into your usual routine. So something new comes on the scene. How are you going to adapt that in? How are you going to make that part of the everyday routine that you do in your preparation or in your training activity?
Yeah. Were there any specific things you did to stack it in your favour? Any specific routine you had during the week?
Yeah, I'd always do extra conditioning, even on short turnarounds. I had a few running drills that I felt would get the best out of me, even though they may not from a sports science perspective, but for me mentally, it was really important that I had that under my belt, that extra bit of conditioning brought the best out of me. But then it did turn to things like nutrition and how I could squeeze more out of myself, or give me the ability to squeeze more out of myself. And it's actually perfect. A drink like this, like it's a daily habit thing that you need to do. You stack the odds in your favor. All the things here are going to help you. They're not going to guarantee results, but certainly by having something like creatine in your system each and every day, the results, it's the most tested supplement on the planet. Everybody should be taking it.
Yep.
This is why with Melrose Health, like it's there.
That's
it
great.
takes away that guesswork. It's stacking the odds in your favor to a future performance.
It is Melrose Health Future Daily Longevity Stack. Incredible to see. It helps with cellular energy production, cognitive function and memory, muscle strength and lean body mass, which I got to be honest, I got to start working on that.
That's the
I'm
creatine.
I'm losing weight. I need to get back in the gym.
And it also tastes really good as well.
Tastes fantastic. Nervous system function as well. It helps with. So it's a great product and great to hear your lesson of league. Now, I was actually told a little tidbit about you. You spoke about those extra conditioning sessions, that even as a front rower, you would win the club 10K time trials. Little birdie told me that the other day. And that's very rare for a front rower to be winning 10K time trials, Jimmy.
That little birdie talks a lot of sense, Charlie.
Should we preview the round?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
Because it's a great round of footy. Obviously, Indigenous round, as we said earlier. And it starts with the Gold Coast Titans taking on the North Queensland Cowboys, coming off an 82-12 draw.
What a shocker. I was down in Melbourne and I was at AFL game, and I took one, a good mate of mine. We went there, it was his first time there, and we was just watching the game, and then we looked at the score full time. I was like, sure there's something wrong with this. But no, 82 points.
Did you see the try? Did you see Rob Toya's try? Where they passed it, one pass off the scrum, and Rob Toya went through untouched. I've never seen anything like it.
I think that was just a one-off game for him.
I think that's why my eyes are so bad.
Yeah, Jimmy has
to watch
pink
that.
eye for anyone who's watching in both eyes.
For that's how I used to look.
That's AI.
Look at that. That's how I used to look.
That's AI.
And this is how I look now.
We're worried that you might be addicted to marijuana or something as a show. We've all gotten together.
Not in the day. Not in the day. No.
What about Titans? What's your thoughts on Titans? A bit of hit and miss this year.
Yeah, I think Coach Hannay's just laying the foundations. They've changed a bit from that shootout team.
Yes.
And they're playing some decent football, playing the long game a little bit more, bit better, bit consistent. I think the pressure being off them to make finals has helped. But I think you've got to say it's an improvement. They've improved.
Oh, absolutely.
They've definitely improved, but Cowboys just have to get the win. They can't. They're going to delete that from then. That performance and that scoreline doesn't reflect the team that they have now become, and I think they've got to right the wrongs, get back in the winner's circle, because if they don't, the pressure will start to come on them about not making finals. They should with the draw that they've got to finish the year. They've got to buy up their sleeve. Just quickly, I forgot to mention this: the Knights, they're the most likely team to ever to go deep outside the top four, because they have a bye round 27. Nobody saw them playing finals. That's why they get given that bye round 27. Could just be an absolute blessing for the Knights. A blessing.
So who have you got in this one, boys?
Cowboys.
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Do you think, just keeping on Cowboys, we probably have to get off soon, so sorry.
No, it's good.
With their emotions, like up for Penrith,
Yeah.
up for Jason Tomalolo, 300th or breaking a record for the club. They had another game there where they were a bit flat, and then this one.
Well, they put a lot of energy into the Broncos.
In the Broncos, that's it.
They played the Broncos, and it was like, we hate everybody north of the border. North of Brisbane hates Brisbane.
So it was like 3 weeks.
They got to knock Brisbane out of finals contention as well. 5-day turn. Maybe it was just over. Yeah, maybe emotions got too high and they fell flat. They can't repeat that. They've got to get a win.
I'll go Cows.
Cows, love it. Should say as well, NordVPN back on board with
Yes,
us
they
at
are.
the moment. They've
How
jumped
good.
on for the next few weeks. Great time of year to get your NordVPN as well.
You want to get protected. You don't want to be like the Cowboys defense when it comes to your for your internet
Yes.
devices. You want to get it locked up. You want to have this even better than Penrith system, impenetrable.
100%. And if you're traveling at the moment or anything like that, it's great for those, dodgy hotel Wi-Fi's, dodgy cafe Wi-Fi's that you
Well,
hop
it doesn't
onto.
even matter if they're dodgy. You can be in the best of the best, Charlie, like you do travel. And any public Wi-Fi system, it just opens the door. And we all know why you have your VPN, because you want to
I wanna
change
avoid
your
the pictures.
You want to change your location to get instant access to certain websites, and that's fine.
Well, I want to
joke.
avoid having to upload my picture onto the internet.
All I'm hearing is that you don't turn up to work
Well,
because you travel.
mate, I do not travel a lot. I'm actually here. I'm
How's
in the
the what?
in the rugby league. I went to the Soccer World Cup
Do
actually.
you, yeah. Do you trust the buy? Does the buy round need a VPN? Do I need my VPN on now? It's always on. Mine's always on.
Yeah,
but
mine's
do I
always
need it
on.
here at the buy round for our
well,
Wi-Fi?
Lawntel look after our internet and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know
Lawntel.
I don't know if I trust Jordan enough to not try and hack in
Yeah,
through
well,
the Wi-Fi.
Jordan's hacking himself probably.
Yeah,
hasn't
he hacks himself.
he
Yeah.
hacks himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, NordVPN can't help. They're not idiot proof.
No, they're not.
They're not. There's no barrier
No, there's
for
not.
entrance.
Deleting
And
IP addresses.
yeah,
Clearing history. We do have a special offer though. So to get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/James Graham, and that link, Jimmy, 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. And there's no risk because Nord has a 30-day money-back guarantee, and the link is in the podcast episode description box.
that's brilliant, Charlie. I wish I'd known about that discount code before I paid full price.
I did the same. I paid full price. Wars Pars.
Wars
Wars be
Pars?
the Pars.
Ah.
Friday night, Go Media Stadium.
Big game.
I'm there for it as well.
Oh, you're heading
Going
over.
to New Zealand.
Another
for it.
travel.
Another trip.
Yeah. There you go. Well, GI, I'm glad you said it, mate. I'm glad you said it. If I'd have said it, I'd have been reprimanded. Complaint to HR. Get your NordVPN on for over in New Zealand.
I will. It's a work trip, I should say. Work trip.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Doing sideline for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They didn't have
tune in
any.
Triple M.
No one in New Zealand qualified for that role.
Nah, not at the moment.
No.
No, that's
Oh,
fly me
okay.
over. But it'll be a huge game.
It will be.
Big statement opportunity for the Warriors, GI.
Yeah, what is the Wires sitting third? Second?
Third, yep, third.
First. 1v3.
It's a big week
Gotta
for
be-
the Panthers,
yeah.
I reckon. Big week, 2 weeks. Warriors into Roosters. Like, they have a real opportunity to send the message and say,
I
guys,
think
you've
they
got
will.
some serious thinking to do before you even enter the conversation.
I think Penrith will pick it up now.
Warriors forwards could be the difference, though. Like, I reckon they've got a chance to disrupt the Panthers. You got to look to make inroads into them, and I think through their forward pack, they've got the potential to. Deception from dummy half with Egan and Healy could provide a little bit of spark. You worry if the Warriors have the edges to have that strike.
Jacob Laban's a player, man. One
Yeah.
edge.
Sorry.
Oh, you mean
So-
the centres?
Outside of
backs,
the edges.
yes, yep.
Sorry. I should.
They've
I
they've kept Leka Halasima in the centres, which
I
is
think that's
interesting.
why.
Could be
Yeah.
exposed defensively, though.
Yeah. Well, there's risk reward there, isn't there?
Yep. The still no Dylan Edwards as well in this game,
Mm.
which is interesting. Do either of you tip the Wars?
No.
No.
No? Are Penrith going to win the competition?
If I had 100 chips,
Who's it between?
if I had 100 chips, and I've got to I'd put 90 in the Penrith camp.
Premiership Pie Sunday podcast. We haven't done that yet this year. Did we do that last year, the Premiership Pie? Or am I misremembering?
You're misremembering.
No,
we did something about
we did
pie.
something about
but anyway,
pie.
that's a conversation.
Okay,
for
yeah.
our-
I don't know. I'll give you my thoughts of when we go through it.
Okay, all right. Roosters, Dogs. James Tedesco's playing in this game. I'll tell you what, the tackle where he injured his ankle looked like a hip drop. I saw the replay recently. Looked like a hip drop.
I can't
Completely
remember.
missed in
Yeah.
the charge. But anyway, but he's back, which is he's not back. He played last week, but obviously didn't play the second half. Billy Smith comes back into the Roosters team as well. Dogs are looking good though, Jimmy. Dogs are looking good. This is
they
a
need
huge
to be.
game.
They need to be better defensively than what they were last week against Melbourne. I think it's a funny game for them without Melbourne and the Stars and a lot of debutants. Probably not what they expected. They're gonna have to play a lot better to defend their way to victory, because Sammy Walker's going to ask questions galore. Tedesco's going to flood the ruck, so they know where the action's coming. Like they know Nafar White, they know they're going to have to deal with all that. Knowing it and doing it are two very different things. But that said, from a Roosters perspective, like last week was a waste of time, a complete waste of time. They can't fall into that trap of picking up where they left off. They've got to grind a game away. That's the only trouble I see for the Roosters, that they forget that they have to start a game of football, and no game will be as easy as what it was last Thursday. I'm a bit worried about this one, but I'm going to back the Dogs.
You're right, though, because the Dogs have much improved. The Dogs have definitely improved. They have played the long game. They've grinded it out. I think Trent Robinson will have the Roosters firing for this one. You know, they won't think about last week.
I'm right. Maybe not thinking about last week, but thinking about next week.
Yeah.
Because next week they play the Panthers, and I think Roosters, I think they'd know they'd feel that they've got the Dogs number, and they might not face them. I wonder if the Roosters are focusing on next week, and I think they're going to put so much emphasis on that game against the Panthers. I think they almost need some evidence, some belief that they can beat Penrith, which they haven't been able to do for a long time. I think there's one win in like 15. Like,
what's the turnaround in that?
I think it's a week. I think it's Friday to Friday.
Yep.
So, mate, G.I., when you've been at a club in Clubland, have you ever highlighted a game like 2 or 3 weeks away? I suppose not many teams have been in the situation where you've come up against like an organisation juggernaut like the Panthers. Maybe the Melbourne Storm, maybe teams have gone, we need to build a game that can beat the Storm at their best. Remember when they used to really focus on the wrestle? You'd have to think differently to beat Melbourne. I think you've got to think differently to beat Penrith. I wonder if, like, the benefactors that could be the Dogs, but I wonder if the Roosters might have like a bit, thinking a bit further ahead.
Yeah, I know with Melbourne, and definitely in Melbourne, we would practice some moves and do plays just for a specific team, right? But we wouldn't do it 2 weeks prior to leading into that game, which is why you always see trick shots between Cam, Cooper, Bill. You would never ever seen that 3 weeks prior, 4 weeks.
They're saving it for
one particular round.
Yeah.
You know, and
they're almost setting up the opposition.
Yeah.
Because this is what our usual patterns of play are going to be. We're going to do this for 3 weeks, and then we know when we come up against a certain team we have to beat. Yeah.
And they do 3 or 4 different variations to that, because the defensive structure would change. Like you said, the defensive structure would change to a team for Penrith. It was just changed for Manly, you know. So they would have different plays, and we did the same thing at South.
Yeah, I wonder
But you're
what Roosters are, I think Roosters have got an eye on next week.
I was just, when you were talking about those Storm trick plays, I was just picturing a few in my head. Some of them were insane. The way, like, there was actually a video that came up on my Instagram the other day, which was like the way alcohol, tobacco, and your mates all connect on a night out, and it was Cooper, Billy, and Cam Smith putting on this amazing trick play, like back, forth, bang. I mean, I can't describe it.
We used to have to spend so much time, like, on our 2 marker and our single marker process. Like we like Des again. I remember we played Melbourne once and we won 6-4. but it was just like a game of chess because both coaches were like so knowledgeable, like jam, like like no one could make a breakthrough. Like it was actually insane. I think we scored. I think I just like snuck it off. Like I was in the tackle and Sam Cassiano just like fell over the line. That's how we scored. There was because no structure worked because all the defense just counteracted it.
Systems in place.
What game are we up to? Is it Storm?
Storm
Manly?
against the
Storm
Seals in Perth.
Over in Perth this
You
one.
going
now.
to this one?
I'm not going to this one. But
It's down from New Zealand to Perth.
the Perth Bears have got a big event planned for this. So they're doing their season launch on Friday, or their club launch on Friday, like a jersey announcement. And then they're doing a big walk from all the Bears fans going to walk to the game together on Saturday. So, but it's the Bears are making the most of this one. But Storm Manly, who do we like?
Storm.
Ooh.
I'm Storm, man.
Yeah. See, I think...
Reckon Fosball will come back?
Well, I think off the back of the bye, which Manly had last week, couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a crazy year for everybody at that organisation. And it was such a feel-good factor when Foran came in. Everybody's in love with him. The boys are in love with him. He's in love with coaching, thinking, how good's this? It's almost
4 in a row.
Happy days, sign me up. Like, let's get that extension. And obviously, it's peeled back a little bit. He's dealing with the injury of Tommy Trbojevic. But I think this time, getting a bye, it's perfect for Manly. I think they'll look at this and go, we can still make it. Not many people will believe, but that with the fixtures that they've got, it's doable, it's achievable. If you compare it to when Foz originally took over, they would have taken this. They even played the Dolphins and they put a cricket score on them. They'll look at, and they're playing them at home this time as well. So I think Manly deep down will be going, look, we needed the break, we'll freshen up, and we'll hit the ground running, we'll attack. And they're not out the finals race by any stretch. I think they get the win over in Perth.
Dolphins, Broncos, Battle of Brisbane, 5:30 at Suncorp. Will be a sellout. Is this going to be an opportunity for little brother Dolphins to just rub the big brother's face in it?
They'd love it, wouldn't they? They'd love it. You can imagine Herbie Farnworth, my house.
Tom Flegler as well against his old club.
Yeah, I reckon the Dolphins could be in a serious mood.
Yeah, I reckon Dolphins. I can't see Broncos there in, unless they've, like I said earlier in the show, building towards the finish of a good season, but they just look low in confidence.
Yeah.
Great to see the Dolphins back to pretty much full strength as well, coming into finals. Because they have had a lot of injuries and dealt with injuries, so that's good to see. Final game on the Saturday, which you're going to be at this game, aren't you? Bunny's taking on Parramatta.
Am I? Oh, yes, I am too. yeah, I sure am. Yeah.
You're in New Zealand, TI's in
Accor Stadium.
Yeah. Accor Stadium, yes. Indigenous round, yes, I'm there. With those players that you said earlier too, I reckon Rabbitohs will get the win.
Yeah, huge big names in. We already said it. Murray, Duncan, Fafita.
Eels can't play as bad as what. Right, Eels, that's the worst performance a team's ever put in and got 2 points. And Souths will punish them. Souths will absolutely, they can put the cleaners through Para if they're not careful.
Yeah. If they don't put the cleaners, if Parramatta win this game, their season's almost over. The Bunnies, you'd say. I know they'll be in a position where they can still get to 13 wins, but it's psychologically.
This is one of those games that they
need to perform.
They've got to win.
Sunday afternoon, Raiders taking on the Knights. The Raiders are the favourites in this one. I think Knights getting a bit disrespected there, but it'll be a good game. Geo Stadium.
Yeah, I can see potentially why the Raiders are favourites. They hit a bit of form, but obviously last week come up against the Panthers in Mudgee, and that was always going to be an uphill battle. Maybe the Raiders, people are looking at it and going, well, they've simply got to win to keep their season alive. But I think the Knights get a victory here. They've been consistently performing, consistently turning up. They ran away with it against the Broncos. I think a consistent performance against the Raiders will be enough for the Knights.
Yeah, I'm Knights. I'll go Knights. Just they're building. They're just building and seeing what they did last week.
Last game of the season then is... I like the season. Last game... I'm on fire this round preview. What game are we up to anyway? Last game of the round, Dragons against the Sharks, Jimmy.
Look, they'll tell you, local derby, anything can happen. They'll build it up. The Dragons will have hope, but if the Sharks, Trindle, Hines, if they turn up, in a mood. It'd be interesting to see. Did Fanua Blake get named on the bench again? Because it was a bit of an interesting move last Sunday. Hazelton and Fanua Blake named to start and then moved to the bench. I wonder if
Fanua Blake's named to start again. Jesse Colquhoun's starting at the other one. Hazelton's on the bench. I imagine Fanua Blake will swap back to the bench. He's done it the last couple of weeks in a row now.
Going to be interesting to see if he keeps going with
Is that at Cogra?
Cogra. Or Oki,
That's a
some
tough
people
one.
call it.
So, you reckon
tough
it's a
one.
tough game? Mate, I reckon.
The pick.
I reckon Sharks all day.
Well, this is what I was going to talk to you earlier about, the favourites to win. I reckon Sharkies are a dark horse. That's my personal opinion. If them two are in a mood, Nico and Trindle, anything can happen. And Nico is coming back into form after Origin.
Yeah.
So, what's it? The Tongan fisherman, fish and Tonga.
Yeah, Sione Katoa.
Yeah. Mate, he's just a little ball of muscle. I don't know. I reckon not too much hype's been about Sharks, like nothing. So I reckon they would slowly build into it.
I hope they don't win the comp because I called them flat track bullies at the start of the year.
So you give.
I hope they don't win the
I
comp.
don't know. That's the first time I've seen Fitzy very animated.
Yeah,
last week.
He was proper animated, wasn't he?
The traveller.
That's me.
brilliant.
No, that's me. And I think New Orleans maybe or something like that. I
Jeez,
don't
you
know.
look young
New
and fresh
Orleans,
faced there.
Yeah, I think I'm in. I think I might be in Seattle maybe even as a young kid. Anyway, good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
All right, well, GI, thanks for joining us here on the Buy Around. All the best with everything going on this weekend with the Stick With It campaign, the Goanna Academy. Really appreciate you dropping by. And Charlie, good luck in New Zealand,
Yeah.
mate.
Thanks,
Good luck
mate.
in your travel.
Thanks,
Frequent
mate. Watch
flyers.
you. I'm going to become. I might
thanks,
go
boys.
backpacking.
Don't forget your NordVPN. Turn it on.
We'll do.
Keep it. Should be on at all times anyway.
Thanks, boys.